Terrifier Groudon. Do they sleep powder something? No, they set Tailwind. It's Eruption Groudon? That's so cool. That did so much damage too. Alright, when this video goes up, Regulation G will be officially over once again. But this is a Tuesday video, and on Tuesdays I try out teams from major official VGC tournaments. So there is already Reg I content on the channel on other days, but Reg I is not coming to Tuesdays just yet, because there's nothing to cover until some major official Reg I tournaments have happened, which I think will be in a couple weeks. After that, there's not a whole lot of time left in this season, which is really something to think about right now. But anyway, for now, Reg G is what we've got, and this here is the team that won the Seville Special Event, used by a player named Ica Rodrigo. And it's pretty straightforward. It's Zamazenta, Chanpao, and a bunch of physical attackers. Literally everything on this team is a physical attacker. A couple of them have choice items. This team exists to just blast through opponents with Sword of Ruin boosted. Sword of Ruin isn't really a boost, it's a nerf to the other side, but whatever. Sword of Ruin boosted damage from a well-balanced group of Pokemon, of course. They've got the Fire, Water, Grass, and all of them hit very hard. Got the Follow Me, Ogerpon redirection available, speed control. Pow Knight, very strong. Pow Zenta, very strong. Is there anything on this team that really stands out to me that might surprise me if I don't pay close attention before I start playing games? The Rillaboom is Terra Water. I'm more used to Fire, but Water makes decent sense too. The Urshifu has no Aqua Jet. Instead, it's running both U-Turn and Coaching, which I think is pretty cool on this team. And yeah. Iron Head, of course, will turn into Behemoth Bash. So it'll do more damage to restricted Pokemon than Heavy Slam would, but less to things like Flutter Mane. But I think that's fine on a team like this. Yeah, Scarf for Shifu, Banded Dragonite. No mystery about how this team wants to play. Let's just go. It is cool to see Zamazenta win one of the very last events of Reg G. It certainly had an interesting story in the format, coming back from basically obscurity in Sword and Shield. Being very strong for a while, then falling off for a little while. I had trouble with it at first. I have an easier time using it now. Anyway, enough yapping. I've got a game here. It's some Kyogre balance stuff. So we'll see how well this team can just overpower opponents. They have double Fake Out, and Intimidate from the Incineroar, so Inner Focus Dragonite looks nice to have here to shut those things down. Also, they don't have a normal resist. And, I mean, even if Grimmsnarl is running Thunder Wave, I can Extreme Speed through that. I honestly might just lead Pow Knight into this. How's that for Kyogre? Well, they don't have a... they do have a Raging Bolt. They don't have a Farigiraf, so I can just Extreme Speed Kyogre as well. Amoonguss could be a little bit of a problem, but then Chanpao puts so much pressure onto that. Let's bring Pow Knight lead with Zamazenta. And I don't hate Ogerpon here, because I do have... That's Grassy Glide Ogerpon, not Woodhammer or Power Whip. So, well, you'd run Woodhammer on Hearthflame Mask form, but this one has Grassy Glide. So it's not that great for grass coverage into Kyogre if I don't bring Rillaboom. I could bring Rillaboom to this. Rillaboom's not terrible. It's better into Kyogre than basically anything else here, but sure, I'll bring Rillaboom. Even some chip recovery on Zamazenta could be nice. Alright, they lead Grimmsnarl and Incineroar. Chanpao will be intimidated, but Dragonite will not. And it also can't be faked out. I was kind of thinking I might just want a Terra Normal Extreme Speed immediately with Dragonite. I don't know if I need the Terra, really. I think I'm down to just protect Chanpao this turn and scout what they do. Oh, this Dragonite has Outrage. If I can remove the Grimmsnarl, then locking Dragonite into Outrage could be very strong into this team. Do I Terra Normal? Honestly, I don't think there's a whole lot that I need to save my Terra for in this game. Let's just do it, and let's aggressively target this Grimmsnarl. Because if I get rid of that, then like I said, I can switch Dragonite out and go for Outrage into no other Dragon Resist. Okay, they get Reflect Up. Grimmsnarl survives, but it's in danger now. They also tried to fake out the Dragonite. Maybe... Well, they had to know it had Inner Focus, unless they didn't pay attention to the attacks, because I guess nobody runs Clear Amulet Dragonite, but... Well, I don't know that nobody does. They did try to fake it out. Anyway. I can pivot Chanpao out here, but I don't think I want to, because I don't want to switch anybody in on a possible Will-O-Wisp from Incineroar. And I don't know that Incineroar is going to do anything else that's that dangerous in this position. So even though Champow's at -1, I think I'm just going to Icicle Crash in the Grimmsnarl slot and Extreme Speed Incineroar. Big damage to Incineroar with that Banded Extreme Speed, and Grimmsnarl's knocked out. So yeah, okay, there is Will-O-Wisp from the Incineroar. It is into Dragonite. I was about to say Outrage looks very strong now, but before I could even finish saying it, the circumstances changed. It doesn't look that strong now. I don't want this Kyogre to be throwing off big Water Spout damage, though, so I'm thinking about clicking Sucker Punch and Extreme Speed into that. I guess alternatively I can switch Rillaboom in for something, but I think this is okay. I think getting as much damage as I can onto Kyogre immediately is nice. Extreme Speed still does decent damage, so does the Sucker Punch at -1 through Reflect. They land a big Origin Pulse back, so not a Water Spout, but I mean, Zamazenta and Rillaboom ought to be able to do a lot here. We haven't seen the Incineroars. We haven't seen their Terra yet. It could be Terra Ghost Incineroar. I'll go Rillaboom here. I think Terra Ghost Incineroar is the one thing that's still a significant problem, but I have gotten a fair bit of damage on it already. I'm just going to protect Champow to keep the Sword of Ruin active while I target a Woodhammer into Kyogre. They switch Incineroar into the other slot. They will get an Intimidate onto Rillaboom, and they still have the Reflect up. They protect Kyogre. Ah, I might lose to this Kyogre. It's certainly possible. And I don't want to switch Zamazenta in when the Will-O-Wisp is so dangerous. I'm going to Sucker Punch Kyogre again, and they'll probably fake Rillaboom out, but there's not really anything I can do about that. Terra Grass on the Kyogre. Not like that Terra Ground one I ran last Tuesday video. Do I just not have outs to that anymore? The Incineroar is just so dangerous. If it's Terra Ghost Incineroar, I think I just lose to it. But I think I just have to hope it isn't. I'll go target a Woodhammer into it as well to try to cover for that possibility. But okay, they don't Terra. Zamazenta gets a KO. Zamazenta takes a ton of damage back. We crit the Kyogre with Woodhammer, so that's lucky. Yeah, Zamazenta, both of my Pokemon are lower than I'd like, especially in front of this Raging Bolt. And I can't really... I'm just going to try to get Recovery on Zamazenta this turn. I can't really click Wide Guard to protect against the Kyogre when... They're going for Recovery too. When the Raging Bolt then is just free to attack. Last turn of Reflect. I'm going to try to remove Kyogre if I can. Okay. Grassy Glide would have been nice there. Yeah, because Kyogre gets to knock out Rillaboom. I should have clicked Grassy Glide instead of U-turn, and then Kyogre wouldn't have gotten to attack that turn. The Reflect is gone, but I think, yeah, I've just taken too much damage at this point. Zamazenta has no recovery left, and it's knocked out by Thunderbolt. So, yeah, maybe this was doable if I clicked Grassy Glide into Kyogre there, but they got me. They were quite a bit higher rated than me, too. Which is to be, not that specifically, but mismatches are to be expected rating-wise, because this ladder is probably pretty dead right at the very end of the format with no events left. Here we have a Groudon Sun team. They have a Jump Bluff. That's pretty cool. So what do I want to do into this? Ogerpon looks very strong. One thing about this team is that all of my speed control is priority. I don't have Tailwind or Trick Room, but the priority is massively strong. But they do have a Farigiraf here. I wasn't even setting up to talk about the Farigiraf. I just kind of noticed it as I was saying that. They have two very good Tailwind setters and Farigiraf, so the speed control game is not really in my favor. Zamazenta has a tricky matchup against Groudon, so this could be a tough one for sure, but they don't have a Fairy type. I actually could lead Dragonite, and then they might go Farigiraf to cover for Extreme Speed, and then I can actually lock Dragonite into Outrage this time. Unless they Sleep Powder it or something. I can lead Champow Dragonite again. Champow is a strong offensive threat into Jump Bluff and Farigiraf. I'll bring Ogerpon, and I kind of want to bring Rillaboom, maybe. Rillaboom is nice for giving Ogerpon that Grassy Glide, although I'm not sure how much it's good into this team. Groudon is probably going to Terra Fire sooner or later. I think I actually bring Zamazenta to this one instead. Why leave my restricted behind? It is jump left Groudon lead, so I do have to worry some about that sleep powder. And yeah, I'm very mindful of a possible Farigiraf switch in. I don't want to lock Dragonite into extreme speed. I could aerial ace the jump bluff, but I think I'd rather just outrage. Obviously there's some randomness with that because you can't choose your target with outrage. But I'm going to Icicle Crash into jump bluff and outrage. Purifier Groudon. Do they sleep powder something? No, they set Tailwind. It's Eruption Groudon. That's so cool. That did so much damage too, but thanks to the Chien-Pau's Focus Sash, it doesn't get a KO. It's not Sash Jump Bluff, so Icicle Crash knocks it out. Groudon is knocked out by Outrage. So that Eruption Groudon was awesome. You love to see that, but I did get 2 KOs there and they didn't. That said, they have their Tailwind up. That said, Urshifu can only knock one thing out here before Dragonite's Outrage or Chien-Pau's Throat Chop into Farigiraf goes off, so... Maybe Farigiraf will probably just protect if it has it. There's not much I can do about that. But yeah, if they don't protect Farigiraf, then something's probably taking big damage here. They actually protect Urshifu. When the Outrage goes into Urshifu, that's a little unfortunate for me, but I got a lot of damage on Farigiraf there. If they have Sucker Punch, they can knock out Chien-Pao with that before it knocks out Farigiraf. Otherwise, Farigiraf is in danger, and I'm going to pivot Dragonite out to Zamazenta so that I can bring Dragonite back in. Attack again without worrying about confusion, or if I've knocked out the Farigiraf, I can then extreme speed the Urshifu. They're faster, so... Oh, right, Tailwind is up. Never mind the Sucker Punch. They have Tailwind up. They get rid of Chien-Pao, but I'll go Ogerpon here. I kind of want to... No, I was going to say I kind of want to double protect through this, but I don't. I want to double target Farigiraf, because if I make a passive play, they can set Trick Room. And then just as their Tailwind expires, they still have the speed control advantage. But Urshifu, again, can only attack one of my Pokemon. So if I attack Farigiraf, I make sure they don't get Trick Room up this turn. Close combat into Zamazenta. Doesn't KO. Nice. Yep. Farigiraf is gone. And Sash is on Urshifu. But Tailwind ends here. I never even get Dragonite back in to click that extreme speed. Alright, that was better. That was a fun game. I love that Eruption Groudon. That was so cool. I've thought about bringing Special Groudon onto the ladder sometime, but I don't think I've ever actually built a team around it. Maybe someday. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to get another game here. That Eruption did so much damage to Dragonite too. Okay. Oh dear. We got Terapagos and Dozogiri team, and it's defense boosting Tatsugiri, I think. So this team is bulky, and that could be a problem for my hyper offense here. That said, I think I can afford to just lead Chien-Pao Zamazenta into this one. Throw my restricted at them immediately. They don't really have much in the way of immediate threats into it, and it can do big damage to the likes of Indeedee and Whimsicott. What other 2 Pokemon do I want to bring? Probably Rillaboom and Ogerpon. Maybe I need Urshifu. I don't know. Urshifu's good for Terapagos. It's not so good for Dondozo, especially if it's Rocky Helmet Dondozo, which it could be on a team like this. Rillaboom could maybe pressure the Dondozo to Terra if they play a Dondozo mode, and then depending on its Terra type, Ogerpon might be able to threaten it from there. Also, Ogerpon can threaten an Ivy Cudgel crit into Terapagos, and I already have a fighting type to make Terapagos' life miserable. I could even see them not bringing Terapagos to this game, so I'll go Rillaboom Ogerpon. Terapagos. I could see them not bringing to this game, and there's Dondozo. So... I'm threatening Terapagos immediately with a double up, right? Chien-Pao breaks the Terra Shell, and then Zamazenta lands a big body press. Given that they know that, they could protect Terapagos if they have it, or worse, they could switch out to Tatsugiri immediately. And then my attacks do nothing this turn, and Dondozo is free to throw off some boosted attacks of its own. With that in mind, I'm doubling into Dondozo. They do switch in Tatsugiri. Okay. Earthquake. Ugh, big damage. But it's Life Orb Dondozo, so it's not going to stick around as long as some sets do, and I don't have to worry about a Rocky Helmet. I think I want to switch both of these out now to my 2 grass types. I mean, Ogerpon doesn't resist the Earthquake. I could Wide Guard to stop Earthquake, but... Actually, I think that's okay. The problem is, of course, if they just Wave Crash Zamazenta, then I've thrown away my fighting type when they still have Terapagos in the back. But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna Rillaboom Wide Guard. And then I can fake out Dondozo. Yeah, they Wave Crashed. Okay, I called out that they could, but I still let them do it. I could have protected Zamazenta there. Oh well. Okay, but now I can fake out Grassy Glide, I guess. They protect Dondozo around the fake out, makes sense. But I still should be okay into it now because I can go for Woodhammer and Ivy Cudgel, and if it's something like Terra Steel, I have it pinned. It has Ice Fang? I don't think I've ever seen Ice Fang Dondozo before. It just traded itself for Rillaboom. That's probably pretty bad for me when they still have Tatsugiri. And Chanpao is so low. I don't think I've ever seen an Ice Fang Dondozo. Maybe like once. Yeah, that Tatsugiri is actually kind of a threat right now. I'm going to protect Chanpao here. I want to break Terra Shell, but I think that they'll protect Terapagos. Try to bait me into attacking it and knock my stuff out with Tatsugiri. And I'm just going to go Grassy Glide into Tatsugiri. Obviously, if I Terra the Ogerpon, I get an attack boost, but I also make it weak to Tatsugiri Water Stab and to Terra boosted, or Stellar Form Terra Starstorm. So I don't think I can get away with that in this position. Dondozo having coverage for grass types isn't the craziest thing. I mean, Terra Flying was big for a while in like Reg A or something, but... Yeah, I didn't see the Ice Fang coming. Oh, Grassy Glide almost KOs. I could have Sucker Punched the Tatsugiri, although I was wrong about the Terapagos. It doesn't protect here. It could be choiced for all I know. But it doesn't matter. I needed Ogerpon to win this game. So, losing it there is GG. Okay. Well, play until one more loss. It's impressive that this team won a major tournament. Not that it's a bad team. Obviously, it has a lot of overwhelming power, just loading up Chanpao with a bunch of physical attackers. But, you know, there are tough matchups for sure. And any opponent who faces this team pretty much knows exactly how it wants to play. It is a good team, and I knew I'd have fun with it, and I am having fun, but it still takes some impressive play to get all the way to the top of a regional level event with this. So huge credit to the player who did that in Seville. Anyway, standard Miraidon stuff. What's my matchup for that? Well, I have Rillaboom. Change the terrain. I have Pow Knight. I can extreme speed if the Farigiraf isn't there, but that just means they'll bring Farigiraf against me. I mean, I might be able to remove it, right? Targeting it aggressively like I did in that second game. But yeah, I think Rillaboom is important here. It's Terra Ghost Zamazenta, so it doesn't have a way to resist electric. Do I bring Ogerpon? Do I leave Zamazenta behind this game? I think I actually think maybe I do. It's not that great into a lot of this team. I'm learning VGC. Okay. I guess we all are for as long as we play. Newer player looking for a community. If you know any, let me know. I am a little bit on the isolated side myself. I'm in Wolfglick's subscriber community and obviously the Prismatic Draft League, but I'm not super well connected with other players beyond that. Anyway, okay, I need to make a decision, and my decision is this. Nope. It's this. Almost timed out there. Okay, they lead Ogerpon and Whimsicott, which is not good for me because those Ivy Cudgels are going to hurt. I'm going to risk a Sucker Punch. I could Terra Ghost and Body Press, double up on the Ogre Pawn, try to get rid of it, because it is a massive threat to the Pokemon that I brought. Wasn't I talking about not bringing Zamazenta to this one? That's why I got confused when I almost timed out. I did mean to bring Dragonite instead of Zamazenta, didn't I? Alright, well, I'll commit my Terra to it. The Pokemon that I was not really intending to bring. That's fine, right? Spiky Shield. I thought they'd be aggressive with it. I'm just not getting my reads right today. Okay. Now I think they'll attack with the Ogre Pawn. And Sucker Punch. They could switch Ferrograph in, but if they do, then they can't double target Chien-Pao, so they can't knock it out this turn. And if they do double target Chien-Pao, it still gets an attack off because I clicked Sucker Punch. Of course, that relies on the Ogre Pawn attacking, but it does. The Moonblast Zamazenta. Wow, that Ivy Cudgel didn't do very much. +1 defense and neutral, I guess, but yeah, good thing I Terra'd. Alright, here's the Miraidon. They could switch Ferrograph in to cover for a Sucker Punch into this. I'll protect Chien-Pao this turn. I'll go to Rillaboom. Change the terrain. And if they don't switch Ferrograph in this turn, then they probably don't have it. I would think. Air Fairy, Dazzling Gleam, and there is the Farigiraf. The Miraidon's probably locked into Dazzling Gleam, so I can get my Fire type in here, preserve the Chien-Pao, and Grassy Seed Farigiraf. It's not like I can just delete it from existence with a Wood Hammer, right? I think I'll U-turn on it. If they switch the Miraidon out, then I want to be able to get Rillaboom back in and still control the terrain. Instead, they Dazzling Gleam. It almost knocks out Rillaboom. It does a ton to Ogre Pawn as well. But we will get to the end of their Tailwind here. Chien-Pao still has its Sash intact. So I can bring that in. What does Farigiraf do? It's already moved. It used Helping Hand. Now I can threaten the Farigiraf. I think. I'm just gonna double into that with Ivy Cudgel and Throat Chop. If they switch to Whimsicott, then at least they can't get Tailwind back up. Ogre Pawn probably survives this. Chien-Pao definitely does with the Sash. Yeah. Sucker Punch into Miraidon is not that good now that it's a Fairy type. Maybe I've... You know what I can do? I can sack something, get Zamazenta in Wide Guard. Miraidon can't switch out anymore, so it can't switch moves. As long as I have Wide Guard on the board, it can't do damage. So I'll Spiky Shield here, and I'll Sucker Punch Whimsicott. Yeah, just in case it has a Focus Sash. It probably doesn't, but I just want to sack Chien-Pao here so that I can get Zamazenta in. And then as long as Zamazenta exists, I can prevent Miraidon from doing damage. Even getting Encore is fine because I do just want to spam Wide Guard. Try to get rid of this Whimsicott. Encore Ogre Pawn into Spiky Shield. That's really awkward, but I can pivot Rillaboom back in here and get rid of the Encore that way. And yeah, Miraidon can never do damage as long as Zamazenta just clicks Wide Guard forever, so I have no reason to click anything else. And that Moonblast is doing some damage. The Grassy Terrain recovery helps, of course. I could protect Zamazenta to get a little more recovery here. That allows Miraidon to knock out Rillaboom. But then I should still be able to win with Ogre Pawn. I think, right? That recovery could matter. Oh, you know what I can do? I can fake out Miraidon here. Protect. Oh, I forgot about the... Oh, I forgot about Wide Guard affecting the protect counter. Oh my... I absolutely threw there. Okay. Okay. Well, I have to do this now. I had it probably sewn up with... Yeah, I just lose now. I completely choked that one. All I had to do was click Wide Guard forever, but I forgot... I'll explain what I mean, because some players I know don't know this. I forgot that even though Wide Guard doesn't have a chance to fail with repeated use, if you click Wide Guard, then you give your Protect a chance to fail right after. Wide Guard is not affected by the Protect counter, but it does add to the Protect counter. So Protect can fail after you use Wide Guard, even though Wide Guard can't fail after you spam it repeatedly. I'm really frustrated by that one. I'm gonna get another. I think I was okay if I just clicked Wide Guard forever. All right, this person has 4 Pokemon. Why not? All right, let's just do this. I bet somebody was watching this when I was thinking about that Protect and going, no! But unfortunately, I couldn't hear them. Anyway. Oh, it's Simple Beam Grumpig, isn't it? They're going to use Simple Beam into Dondozo so that it doubles up its boosts from Tatsugiri coming in. So let's try to remove Grumpig before it can do that. Does it have Thick Fat? It gets Thick Fat. I don't think it's running Thick Fat. Let's try to get rid of Grumpig before... Does Own Tempo prevent it from flinching? I don't remember what Own Tempo does. Let's try to get rid of this Grumpig before it can use Simple Beam into Dondozo. Your Dragon? Dozo? Okay, not ideal. Oh, we don't KO the Grumpig! No! I invested so much in denying the Simple Beam and I didn't pull it off. And now the Tatsugiri can come in. Yeah. Simple Beam is a funny strat. And of course the Dondozo still resists the Ivy Cudgel. Not that I got the crit anyway. I can't really be mad at losing to Simple Beam. That's such a cool tech. It has Protect, right? Wait, it had Water Veil? It has Protect, right? If not, I can fake out Icicle Crash, but it must. What if it doesn't have Protect? What if? Why is fake out in the last slot? I hate that. Fake out is a first slot move to me. What if it doesn't have Protect? Some of them don't these days. All right, well, there's the answer. That's what, if it doesn't have Protect. Right, it's a +4 defense. I don't know what that was doing anyway. Okay, well, Champeo's Sash is still intact at 24%. You know what? That hit last turn might have mattered if I'd gotten it. I can flinch it with another Icicle Crash. Possible. Okay, big damage. Okay, got the flinch. It's not really big damage, though. But Dondozo's in Icicle Crash range now. That flinch might just do it. It is possible. I am saying there's a chance. You connect. Knock it out. Big Woodhammer to Tatsugiri. No Sash. That leaves the Grumpig and the Shadow Rider. Oh, they can Simple Beam their Shadow Rider too, and then they get extra Nasty Plot or Grim Nay boosts. I would like to get my terrain back up, but I don't think I can afford to do that. Fastest Grumpig. Probably faster than Rillaboom. And I can't Sucker Punch it because I don't think it's clicking attack. Shadow Rider can knock out Qianpao before... So I might not be able to deny a Simple Beam here. Honestly, I think I'm better off just attacking the Shadow Rider. Ah, okay. Guessed wrong on that. I thought they'd aggressively target the Qianpao to try to prevent it from knocking Grumpig out. They set Psychic Terrain. Oh, now I can't Sucker Punch anything. Alright, makes sense. Let's just try to remove the Grumpig however I can. There's the Astral Barrage now. It crits Rillaboom. Hey, no Simple Beam, so they only get to +2 from this. Oh, Expanding Force now from the Grumpig. Okay. Of course, I can't Wide Guard to cover for that because I don't have another Pokemon to do anything with the Wide Guard opening. Let's just Behemoth Bash the Zamazenta. Let's just drop to an Expanding Force. And you know what? I'm not even mad at losing to that team. That was a really funny team. Simple Beam is such a funny move that you don't see very often. It's kind of exciting when it pops up. That said, that is definitely enough Reg G for today.